Welcome back to our podcast, Learning English is Easy. I'm so happy you're here today. Today's episode is really special because we're going to explore something fascinating. How does the English language change the way we think? You might be wondering, wait, my language changes how I think? Yes, and this is not just my opinion. Scientists have been studying this for almost 100 years. So, grab your coffee or tea, get comfortable, and let's discover together how learning English is not just about words and grammar, it's actually opening new doors in your mind. Let me start with a question. Have you ever felt that when you speak English, you think a little bit differently than when you speak your native language? Maybe you express your emotions differently, or you describe situations in a new way? This feeling has a name. Scientists call it linguistic relativity. I know, it sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. The language we speak influences how we see the world around us. Two famous researchers, Edward Sapir and Benjamin Lee Whorf, studied this in the 1930s and 1940s. They discovered that different languages make us pay attention to different things. It's like wearing different glasses. Each language gives you a slightly different view of reality. Now, don't worry. This doesn't mean that English speakers and, let's say, Spanish speakers live in completely different worlds. No. We all see the same sky, the same trees, the same people, but the way we describe these things, the way we talk about them, and even the way we remember them can be different. Let me give you some real examples, and I promise they'll surprise you. First, let's talk about time. This is one of the biggest differences between languages, and English has a very special way of thinking about time. In English, we have very clear verb tenses: past, present, and future. We say, I walked to school yesterday. That's past. I am walking to school now. That's present. I will walk to school tomorrow. That's future. This seems normal, right? But here's what's interesting. Not all languages work this way. Some languages don't have a clear future tense. Some languages focus more on whether an action is complete or not, rather than when it happened. Because English uses these clear time markers, English speakers often think about time as a line. Picture it. The past is behind you, the present is where you are now, and the future is in front of you. It's like walking on a road. There was a famous study by researcher Lara Boroditsky. She compared English speakers with Mandarin Chinese speakers. In English, we use words like short time or long time. We measure time by length or distance. We say, that was a short meeting, or it's a long way until Friday. But in Mandarin Chinese, people also use vertical words. They can say time is up or down. So March comes above February and January is below February. When researchers tested this, they found something amazing. English speakers were faster at thinking about time horizontally, like on a line from left to right. Mandarin speakers were better at thinking about time vertically, like going up and down. Isn't that fascinating? The language we speak actually changes how quickly we process information. For you, as an English learner, this means something important. When you learn English verb tenses, you're not just learning grammar rules, you're actually training your brain to think about time in a new way. You're learning to see time as a clear timeline: past, present, future. This is a powerful mental tool that can help you plan better, remember events more clearly, and organize your life more efficiently. Now, let's move to our second big topic: actions and responsibility. Here's an interesting fact about English. English makes us say, who does an action? Let me show you what I mean. Imagine this situation. A child is playing with a ball in the house. Suddenly, the ball hits a vase, and the vase falls and breaks. How do we describe this in English? We say, the child broke the vase, or she broke the vase. Notice something? In English, we put the child as the subject, the person who did the action. Even if it was an accident, even if the child didn't mean to break it, we still say, she broke the vase. Now, in Spanish, people might say, el jarrón se rompió, which means the vase broke itself, or just the vase broke. There's no person in the sentence. It's like the vase broke on its own. Same situation, but very different ways of describing it. Why does this matter? Scientists did studies on this, and they found something surprising. English speakers remember who did actions better than speakers of languages like Spanish or Japanese. Why? Because in English, we always need to say who did it. Our brain learns to focus on the person, the actor, the one responsible. There's even more. Studies showed that in legal cases, in courts, the language used can influence the decision. If the trial uses English, with its focus on who did it, judges and juries might find someone guilty more often. If the trial uses Spanish, with its focus on the event happened, people might see the person as less responsible. Think about this in your own life. When you speak English, you might start to notice, who is responsible? Who made this happen? Who should get the credit or the blame? This is English training your brain to think about agency, about who has the power to cause things to happen. This awareness can be really valuable in your personal development. It helps you take responsibility for your actions. When you say, I made a mistake, instead of a mistake happened, you're taking ownership. You're saying, I am the person who has the power to change things. This is a powerful mindset. Now, let's talk about something beautiful. Emotions and feelings. English has an incredibly rich vocabulary for emotions. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of words to describe how we feel. Of course, English is not the only language with many words. Many languages are very rich. But English has borrowed words from French, Latin, Greek, German, and many other languages over hundreds of years. This created an enormous vocabulary. Let me show you what I mean. We don't just say, I'm happy. No, we can say, I'm delighted. This means very happy about something specific. I'm thrilled. This means excited and happy. I'm content. This means peaceful and satisfied. I'm cheerful. This means happy with positive energy. I'm overjoyed. This means extremely happy. All of these mean happy, but each one is slightly different. Each word helps us understand exactly what kind of happiness we feel. The same is true for sadness. We can say, I'm sad, general sadness. I'm disappointed, sad because something didn't happen as we hoped. I'm heartbroken, very deep emotional pain. I'm melancholy, a soft, gentle sadness, maybe with some beauty in it. I'm devastated, completely destroyed by sadness. Research in psychology shows that when we have more words for our emotions, we can understand our feelings better. There's even a term for this, emotional granularity. It means being able to make fine distinctions between similar emotions. Studies found that people with bigger emotional vocabularies have better mental health. Why? Because when you can name exactly what you feel, you can understand it better. And when you understand your emotions, you can manage them better. Let me give you a personal development tip. Start keeping a feelings journal in English. Every day, try to describe your emotions using different English words. Don't just write, I feel good, or I feel bad, challenge yourself. Try, I feel hopeful. I feel overwhelmed. I feel peaceful. I feel anxious. I feel inspired. By doing this, you're not just practicing English, you're actually developing emotional intelligence. You're training your brain to notice subtle differences in how you feel. This is a powerful skill for life. Now let's take a step back and look at the big picture. What does all this mean for you as someone learning English? Here's the exciting part. When you learn a new language, you're not just memorizing words and rules. You're actually giving your brain new tools for thinking. Think of it like this. Your native language is like one set of tools in your mental toolbox. Maybe it's great for certain kinds of thinking. Maybe it helps you express certain ideas really well. But English gives you additional tools. It gives you a new way to think about time. It gives you a new awareness of who does actions and who is responsible. It gives you an enormous vocabulary to express subtle emotions and ideas. This is what scientists call cognitive flexibility, the ability to think in different ways depending on the situation. Some researchers have found that people who speak multiple languages are better at solving problems from different angles, seeing other people's perspectives, being creative and innovative, making decisions in complex situations. Why? Because every language gives them a different mental model of the world. Let me tell you something personal. Many English learners tell me, when I speak English, I feel like a different person. I'm more direct. I'm more confident. I think more logically. And you know what? That's real. It's not your imagination. When you speak English, you're accessing English patterns of thinking, the timeline of time, the focus on who does actions, the rich emotional vocabulary. All of these shape not just what you say, but how you think while you're saying it. So how can you use this knowledge in your English learning journey? Let me give you 5 practical tips. Tip number 1, practice thinking in English about time. When you plan your day, try to think, this morning I will exercise. Yesterday, I didn't exercise. Tomorrow, I want to exercise again. Feel how English puts everything on a clear timeline. Tip number 2, pay attention to subjects in your sentences. Practice saying, who does the action? Instead of thinking, things happened, think, I made this happen, or she created this result. This builds your sense of agency and responsibility. Tip number 3, build your emotional vocabulary. Make it a game. Every week, learn 5 new feeling words. Use them in sentences. Notice how naming your emotions more precisely helps you understand yourself better. Tip number 4, don't think that English is better than your native language or that your native language is worse. No, every language is beautiful and unique. They're just different tools. Enjoy having both. Tip number 5, notice the moments when you think differently in English versus your native language. Be curious about this. It means your brain is developing new pathways. That's something to celebrate. So, my dear English learners, here's what I want you to remember from today's episode. Language is not just words on a page. It's not just something we use to communicate. Language actually shapes how we think, how we see the world, and how we understand ourselves and others. When you learn English, you're expanding your mind. You're adding new ways of thinking. You're becoming more flexible, more aware, and more capable of understanding different perspectives. This is why I say learning English is not just an academic goal or a career skill. It's a journey of personal development. It's about growing as a person, expanding your mental horizons, and discovering new parts of yourself. Every time you practice English, every sentence you speak, every word you learn, every grammar rule you master, you're not just improving your language skills. You're literally reshaping the way your brain processes information. You're becoming a more complete, more versatile thinker. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this episode inspired you to see your English learning journey in a new way. Remember, you're not just learning a language. You're training your mind to see the world from new angles. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep opening your mind to new possibilities. Goodbye for now.